just Bernie!
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
All right, we are live. We are live finally. And of course, as I go live, something always goes wrong, but that's okay. That's why I've at least got a couple of computers up, and one goes down that had the main face I wanted to show. Instead, we'll just get straight to the Montana Megaliths. And this is the Montana Megaliths YouTube channel. Julie is the owner and discoverer of most of these sites. And I just love it so much because it confirms everything I have suspected, everything I have seen throughout Alberta, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, in my own life, and I've been down to Montana a few times. I have family down there, and now just grasping the overall amazingness of this location and mega site. I'm going to try to get down there this year. And this being the T-Rex at the Montana Megaliths, and the T-Rex skull right here, the head, the body laying down open, and yeah, like mud fossilized, potentially BioGeology, and that there's a whole bunch of other carved sites all around it. And the shout out Nikki B's History, Paradox Fossils, welcome, Grizzly Sue, His Highness, Travis McClung, Tracy Gornham, Nicole S. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully didn't miss anyone. But yeah, I'll start with this, and I would love to see drone footage of this at some point. It's something else.
This is Julie Ryder at the Montana Megaliths.
Ryder.
I'm on the Missouri River looking over the ice and snow as the river flows. Above the river, there is a flash fossilized Tyrannosaurus rex. You can see the left cheek, the eye, the different sections of his body down to the tail. Above the Missouri River in the Montana Megaliths north. Right across this mountain is Dragon's Lair on the other side. There's a valley and then another cliff mountain above Dragon's Lair. I'm in the Montana Megaliths north. Where there's like 4-mile loop of dinosaurs, dragons, flash fossilized beings. Extraordinary, perfectly intact, flash fossilized, stone, ancient, pre-megalithic biological beings.
So that's the first. Hold on. Like, no, it's intense, man. Some of them, like some. So here's the thing, Jeremiah, is like that one was like, I really need to get up close drone footage, or they need to of it, Julie Ryder. But amazing for everything she's done so far. But it does, that looks like an actual petrified T-Rex. A lot of the other ones look like just straight carvings and are like she states they're carvings, and the ones I've seen around Alberta all look like carvings. But that's why I'm so fascinated about this T-Rex, is that she claims it's actually fossilized, and would love to see that one. Is this the right one? There's a whole bunch. We'll just play them as is and see.
I'm Julie Ryder. We're at Tower Rock State Park, below an incredible wall filled with facades of different figures from multiple civilizations and cultures.
Yeah, I see like the face there. The thing is that you have to get the angles at the right time of day with the sun and the shadows reflecting it, as well as the image of them, of the faces and stuff like that from the right angles as well, to really see them. But hold on. Where's the this one right here?
It is time for the gates of the mountains to open. Come with me on this journey to explore these vast ancient remnants of previous epochs of worldwide civilizations. As we float along the Missouri River, it feels as if we are traveling through an ancient art installation. There's always something new to be discovered around every bend of the river. As the gate opens, we can look upriver and view the Dragon Temple at the gates. I am Julie Ryder, the discoverer of the Montana Megaliths. We are here at the gates of the mountains on the Missouri River. The Montana Megaliths flow down into the tributaries and to the Missouri River, whose water flows all the way into the Atlantic Ocean. I have discovered extremely ancient megalithic cities all around you. It has been verified by satellite deep geoscans that there are pyramids, dolmens, huge cyclopean walls. 85% of it is still under the earth, underground. What we find are the markers. And then satellite deep geoscans can go 3.7 miles underground, layer the images, tell us what the artifacts are made out of. Many of the structures that you'll be seeing in these series of videos have deep, deep chambers underneath. In taking the Gates of the Mountain boat tour over and over, we have discovered flash fossilized beings. There's dinosaurs, dragons, a Sumerian king, which you will see down the river. Sumer, king at the gates, is positioned on a central precipice, high in the center of a smooth wall that forms a parabolic resonant amphitheater. The Sumer king at the gates is very similar to the Assyrian ruler's relief fresco in ancient Iraq. We have found several stone statues of Sumerian, Mesopotamian, and Assyrian images. Features of the Montana megaliths morph, then appear and disappear, depending on the time of day, the cloud cover, seasons of the year, and the angle from which it is viewed. So who were these ancient monument makers? It is clear to me that many of these extremely ancient sites are memorials, messages sent across the ages, rendered in the cosmic script of expressionless art. The meaning of the Montana megaliths will be debated for centuries to come. Experts tend to complicate matters. Therefore, over the last 11 years, I have been presenting photographs and commentary, revealing my first impressions. Then comes the correlations to similar features at other known sites in the ancient world. Andrew Barker stated, "Bingo, Montana megalith structures are incredible, vast, ancient, ever surprising, informative, and real." Now, we only have a fraction of the macro picture, but that is enough to understand the site's importance. The archaeologists will need many decades to formulate the micro picture. We must expect with the site of this scale that could last into the next century. Steep limestone walls on both sides of the Missouri River are covered with three-dimensional beings. There are many faces, some of which appear to be human. A human-type skull is suspended high up on a precipice enclosed in a rock dome. As we pass by, a sky window appears through which constellations show at various times of the year.
Right, so that's key part that a lot of these she's stating have the astro archaeology and the astral alignments, and that's another why I keep bringing up the position of the sun and the moon and the shadows and reflecting seeing these. But this is clearly a rhinoceros head coming out, and she states that it's built with blocks, right? So that this clearly, if it's built with blocks, it would not be fossilized or mud fossil or skeleton of a giant rhinoceros. This instead would be something carved out and built in effigy of the ancient megafauna rhinoceros that did cover these lands that they speak of. And yeah, it's crazy. And apparently this eye also has astrological alignments she'll go on to mention here, and it's fascinating stuff.
The head of a rhino extends from the side wall of the Temple of Isis. His circular eye is open, again forming a sky window through which star constellations align. The horn is composed of square and rectangular blocks. Mountain Man is a huge titan. An image of the left side of the male face appears in the left white eye of the Mountain Man Titan. It appears that two white eyes are staring at you as you approach the gates of the mountain's pictograph site. I have photographed several pictographs created by the more recent indigenous peoples that inhabited Montana, the majority of which were painted with ochre, which is a combination of red iron minerals, urine, animal fat, and plant extracts. Often the glazes were heated with a torch, much like placing raw clay ceramics in a kiln to set the glaze. Here at the gates of the mountains are profiles of ancient faces in the rock under the paint, indicating that the faces were here first. An ancient male face with a white overglazed features a feathered headdress, much like the traditional Native American eagle headdresses worn in ceremonies today. His left eye and eyelashes are visible. You can count his teeth. On the left side of his chin, there is a dark red animal with a human face caricature. The cross over his head may be an indication of the four directions marker. My favorite activity in grade school was finding the images that were hidden in pictures. Finding the three-dimensional human, aquatic, avian, animal, serpentine, draconian hybrids in the Montana Megaliths is one of my favorite adult activities. There are a multitude of ancient beings in the rock cliffs. Pause the video and see how many you can find. It is great fun. We have played this game for years on Facebook. I find it highly compelling that since my website has been translated into over 72 languages, there are comments on my Facebook from many cultures. People from around the world identify the images on the rocks here in Montana that originated in their own culture. We are beginning the process of classifying the taxonomy of these ancient biological beings. Many of the images at the gates of the mountains are familiar to me, as they have the same features and characteristics that we have discovered in other complexes throughout the Montana megaliths. The field of astroarchaeology is growing exponentially. We are learning that ancient sites around the world align with star constellations and with the solar and lunar cycles. A large swan faces upriver toward the dragon temple at the gates. The star constellation of Cygnus is represented by the swan. There are several proof points for determining ancient intentional construction of cyclopean walls versus rock formations that naturally occur. Ancient
Actually, look at that. That is a perfect swan. Like, that's crazy. And I've seen so many of these throughout the Alberta Rockies that I'm going to show more pictures of after done playing all of her videos, and go into better angles of lots of these that you'll see. And yeah, not saying that these are all probably 98% of this, if not more, is carved, not remains or fossilized animals and giants and titans, I'm saying, but it does look like there might be some, or just a ridiculous amount of terraforming by a past super advanced ancient lost civilization that needs to be rewritten into history.
Intentional construction of cyclopean walls versus rock formations that naturally occur. A series of 90-degree angle cut and stacked square and rectangular blocks with vertical seams that line up is a major proof point that this formation was constructed. Long, straight horizontal seams is also an indication of possible intentional construction. Often these walls have smooth surfaces. The gates of the mountain is limestone, which deteriorates much quicker than granite. However, some of the walls are very smooth. Dragon Temple appears to be an extremely ancient, intentionally constructed temple, featuring the head of a dragon in the center. The serpentine body of the dragon flows down into the river. Formed into angular pillars that support rectangular blocks, the body of the dragon becomes a semicircular wall. There are several images of faces on the northwest upper row of blocks. On the side of Dragon.
So I'll pause it here again, and notice that she constantly is stating that it's all made of these megalithic blocks as if constructed, and that's exactly what I've seen throughout all of Alberta, all of the mountains that she's been showing and stuff. This is exactly what I've I have so many sites now to go out to that I've instinctively looked at my entire life, and I'm like, that is intelligently built, like that is pyramidal, or that is step pyramids, or that is these megalithic alignments, and they're absolutely everywhere throughout these areas. And what she's showing, these different artificial caves going in, and that these are also extremely ancient. They're pre Younger Dryas cataclysm, so like epochs ago at least worth of erosion that has since partaken these sites and all of that, but and cataclysms, who knows, what exactly has happened, and that there's the mountains are these mega block sites, and I'm going to be exploring and documenting many in my area coming up the rest of this summer. And then there's the Badlands, and that there's so many of those also in Alberta that I've been wanting to show forever, that's going to be coming up, including the Drumheller Badlands and the Drumheller mounds and pyramids everywhere. And might even take a walk through the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Dinosaurs, Dragons, whatever you want to call them, at the Medicine Hat Badlands with the these giant geoglyph characters. Oops, wrong way. Here we go with these guys. These are also in the Badlands, and that the Badlands have the what is known as, here's the other guy. There's another geoglyph face, native Western warrior geoglyph face. That was what I originally wanted to show at the start of this show. Pretty similar to this guy, right? And one face, two face, three face, potentially four face. This guy, one big face, but then what also appears to be second face and third face down there, with the main face and headdress, right? And these geoglyph sites. Also that we have the pyramid complex of the Grand Canyon, also what would be considered Badlands. Everywhere that there is Badlands, it looks like there was mass catastrophe, or there's the mountains remaining with this more intact but still eroded brickwork, and how similar these Montana sites look to the Grand Canyon sites. It's pretty similar, and also what I'm going to be bringing forward in Alberta in the near future.
Temple is a large cube formed from stacked square blocks. At the lower corner of the cube, an extremely large male figure sits on a throne facing downriver. This throne figure appears very similar to the colossi of Memnon at the Theban necropolis on the Upper Nile in Egypt. As viewed from Google Earth, the Dragon Temple at the gates appears to be a pyramid, which is similar to the Gunung Padang pyramid in Java, Indonesia. The architectural design of both temple pyramids features a similar square center, with terraced descending platforms. On one side there is a sharp decline, and on the opposite side there are extended descending layers. Eastward of the gates of the mountains, the horned dragon geosculpture is only visible from Google Earth.
Once again, a massive geosculpture that, you know, it could be a dragon like it looks like it. It could be a little far-fetched, but who knows? There's so many 6:32 a.m. Mega where you are, Nikki B, shout out. And yes, shout out Stellium. Actually, I'll probably play that as the Brucey bonus. Stellium's most recent. I've been talking with Stellium actually earlier today, and it's absolutely great work with BioGeology. I sent him some of this ahead of this episode to get his thoughts.
Where there are several flash fossilized dragons, follows the outline of the horned dragon's jaw. Threshold complex can be seen from the ground level. After several summers of frequently floating up and down this section of the Missouri River, my friend Robin offered a private boat ride. Here is Robin with family and friends at the Coulter campground at the base of the Temple of Isis. Another photo shows a view of us with the cliff walls that are across the river from the temple. The Temple of Isis was constructed in a classical design like several ancient temples, with a rectangular base and a triangular roof line. The Temple of Isis in Egypt has a similar square base. The Temple of Concordia in Greece also has a rectangular shape with a triangular roof. On one side of the Temple of Isis, here at the gates of the mountains, there's a concave wall that reminds me of the spread wings of Isis, the Egyptian goddess. On the same level around the 90-degree corner on the northwest wall are square blocks on top of support pillars that are the cornerstones of the wall that faces the river. These stone blocks are carved with ancient faces. Facing the river, the large head of the rhino is supported by a flat platform. There is a second terrace above, which is on the side of the triangular prism portion of the roof, which we will be exploring this next summer. There is so much more to come as we present videos of the over 100 sites and the 46 dolmens that we have discovered in the Montana Megaliths in the United States of America.
There's all these halls and caves.
Julie Wright at the Montana Megaliths North. I'm looking at the elfin warrior. You can see inside his left ear, left eye, nose, a few teeth, and his jutting chin. Under his chin is another face I call the visor. I'm looking up at Epic Episode, and you can see the white eye with a black line that points to 2 o'clock. If you look on Google Earth and move the compass to 2 o'clock, you will see a geosculpture of a huge human male head back to back to a monster head on Google Earth, looking down at the elfin warrior at exactly 2 o'clock, exactly what his eye shows. I'm coming around here to the Missouri River, and there are a couple of fishermen down here who gave me permission to film them. It is mid-December, and here they are fishing on the Missouri River below the elfin warrior. I'm Julie Ryder. We're at Tower Rock State Park, below an incredible wall filled with facades of different figures from multiple civilizations and cultures. I am Julie Ryder, the discoverer of the Montana Megaliths. Since 2012, I have been discovering a number of dolmens, ancient pyramids, and megalithic sites throughout the Montana Megaliths in Montana in the United States of America. One of the most extraordinary discoveries is the silver skull. It's a huge, elongated head skull. It's very defined. There are 2 rows of teeth and perhaps a tongue sticking out in the middle. There's an incisor tooth, which is very large and in the exact anatomical position of a human's incisor tooth. There are sutures in the skull, a coronal suture coming down the side of the temple. There's a sagittal suture coming across the top of the skull right down the center, splitting it into 2 lobes. Elongated skulls are found in ancient sites throughout the world. These are from Paracas, Peru. These large skulls have unusual sutures. However, the silver skull here in Montana is much, much larger than any skulls that have been known throughout the world so far. It's solid stone, meaning it was flash fossilized, and giants are known to have 6 fingers and 6 toes. Further north in the Montana Megaliths, there is an area called Dancing Giant's Feet, where there are a number of 6-toed, ancient, huge feet. We have found 5-toed feet and 6-toed feet throughout the Montana Megaliths. This is Julie Ryder. I'm at the Silver Skull Complex, touching the back of a skull that I call the dyadic presence. On the back of the neck, you see the vertebrae, cervical vertebrae, the spinous process as it comes down to ground level. This was once a living being. From the side, you see the eyes of the epicampal folds, which look almost oriental, gazing at the horizon, almost a childlike face. It's a beautiful place to do shamanic journeys. There's a cave over here. We're doing a number of ceremonies here. It is the changing of the world time. And the time has come for us to do ceremonies at each of these different 100 megalithic sites and each of the 46 dolmens in preparation for the changing of the world time, the changing of cycles. Bill and I are here at the Silver Skull Complex on a beautiful May morning. We came last night, but it was too windy to film, so we're back early this morning. We're testing out the acoustic sounds. This is like a sound chamber. Many of the ancient megaliths we're finding were built with acoustic levitation. Harmonic sounds are part of the technology. So we're playing around with it. This is a pink granite. On the front of this rock is gray granite filled with particles of quartz crystal. Much of the boulder batholith is 42% quartz crystal. That's why it resonates. The crystal holds the memory. The rocks hold the memory and the knowledge. We're going to play some music and look at the acoustic levitation properties of these rocks.
I just had to pause it there as I just recently found out that both Montana has a ringing stone site where it's like the identical sort of stones that Michael Tellinger shows, and that the one site that back when Wood and Nichols existed and was exploring, he went to this ringing stones wherever the heck he lived. And so that both Alberta and Montana have these ringing stone sites. And I believe Julie Becker here is demonstrating that the megalithic stones also have some of this ringing properties.
We often lay upon the earth at these sacred places in order to do a shamanic journey. We access alternate realities of space and time. We meet with interdimensional beings, spirit helpers, and guides in order to bring back knowledge and high-frequency energy to heal ourselves and Mother Earth. Bill carries us in and out of these sacred portals and supports us with the shamanic drum beat. Myself and 3 of my friends were invited to Lakota Sundance, and we went a day early just to help the elders get everything ready. When we arrived, the elders asked us to go gather sage. And so we found mountains and mountains of sage. We gathered the whole back of a SUV full of sage. When we got back to the Sundance grounds, they looked at us and said, "Wrong kind, take it back." And so we had to get rid of all that sage because it wasn't what they needed. What they really wanted was this. It's a single stem of sage. And this is what's used in the ceremonies of the Lakota. It grows in profusion here at the Silver Skull, and it goes at sacred sites all around the Montana megaliths. It's a single stalk, wonderful smell, and this is the sage that's used in the ceremonies, both at the Lakota and at the Cree and at the Nez Perce. This is the sage. We were exploring the megaliths above the Silver Skull and stumbled upon this stone that appears to be inscribed. Patina has obviously been scraped off to form a linear script of some kind. So much more to research and discover. Is this a runestone left by the Vikings? Is this an example of the Sumerian-Aryan evolution of an ancient alphabet? Or perhaps Vinca from ancient Romania? There is a capital E that also appears in the large ceramic stones in the vast underground tunnels near the Bosnian pyramids. In cuneiform, the capital E means the place of the temple, the archives. I also recognize a capital H, like the huge stones in Pumapunka in Bolivia. Or is this just an example of more modern graffiti? There are several megalithic sites nearby. As we circumnavigate the Silver Skull complex, Giant's Playground is 7 miles as the crow flies. Downhill's Destiny is about a mile above us. Come join us at the Tree of Life as we explore and discover more of the Montana megaliths.
Right, so let that play through, and mad respect to Julie and her husband Bill. They're practicing and participating with the indigenous population elders, as well as ceremonies with the drums, the sage, and all of that, and that's no doubt that's also being in harmony with the people and the land, why they're so allowed into these sites. And shout out Kyle, KY Smooth, watching on Twitch. Good to see you. My Sherry Ananoli, welcome. S. Lakeside Laura, Bob John, Mary Quite, Nicole S. Maggot, Vintage Love, Stephanie Campbell, Kat, I am Holistic Detective and Spellbreaker, Irma B, Valley Parks, I am Kairos, Join the Technicians, Yashua, Scott Rose, Steve A, Kirk Blackador, Kim B. So many of you. Welcome, everybody. Hope you all have had a awesome, wonderful weekend and a blessed start to your new week. And here I'm going to start with some of the pictures now for a minute of these. What I'm showing right now is from Julie as well, from Giant's Playground site that she's called it, and in the same from her website, Montana Megaliths, from the main sites. But this guy here, what she calls the robotic watcher, has me so freaking excited, and I don't know whether to just spend the next day scrambling through my old micro SD cards to try to find the pictures from the full pictures of my hike to Mount Yamaniska from my old cell phone, because I actually have a picture of an identical robotic watcher to this on the front side of Mount Yamaniska, 2/3 of the way up. Sadly, I didn't get a picture of it with my main camera, and that I think I lost the phone or it doesn't start anymore, but I believe I have it in the SIM card. Either way, or if those able to donate and fund my arse to get back out there, I will gladly re-hike up there, and aiming to do a July 17th for my birthday hike back up and explore the Mount Yamaniska site and get a photo of this matching robotic watcher at the Mount Yamaniska in Alberta, where this guy is in Montana. And yeah, this site here is also in Alberta, more Badlands, and it's called Writing on Rock, Writing on the Rock site. Here's one of the faces. This guy is at the Montana Megaliths Giants Playground site. Yes, you got it, Sister Lakeside Laura. Yes, July 17th, I am a Cancer. And look at that. See, look at that. That is a Buddha guy. Look at, is it not? Like, I see it, and super ancient. Happy early birthday to Kim B. Right? Isn't it? Good day, Gigi. Good to see you. And there's just so much, and they're ancient. They're super ancient, super old. These carvings, I believe, on these. Some more of the megaliths. Oh, sadly, yes. Oh, here we go. Better quality pictures. Here's one of the walls. This might be on part of the Sage Wall. This could be part of Sage Wall in Montana. Sage Wall is right next to the Giants Playground site. I believe they're pretty close to one another. And a lot of attention now coming to Sage Wall, which is spectacular, and that God willing and the universe provide, hopefully I will be able to make it down here this September and go explore the Montana megaliths after I document a whole bunch of the Alberta ones that match these sites, and it will make it absolutely the most epic as possible of a year that we can do. Getting it all confirmed, and like, look at this. This is massive megalithic geopolymer polygonal wall structures in Montana, and it's undeniable. And so then here's the archaeological site. I don't know if this one's Montana's or Alberta's. There's a couple of these different medicine wheel sites that are actually advanced astrological calendars. Sorry, the pictures are not in straight alignment. Like, that's another either super eroded megalithic carving of face animal or something, and I would imagine that it has, with the right shadows, sunlight, Sophia statue, they're saying, right? That it looks quite astonishing. Howdy, Frankie. Good day. Oh, today is your meetup. Oh my God, I missed it, didn't I? Am I retarded? Is it still going on? Wow. I'm a pothead. Frankie, how are you doing? And how was the meetup, or is it going on? If it is still going on, I need to make it down there, and let me know, good sir. The cat right here, this like the puma etched into the stone, or is it part of the stone? Very good. Just got home. Well, I hope you had a good time, and I will have to check out your stream if you did one, or the video that does come of it, no doubt. And we will have to get together very soon, Frankie, and got to come with me to see some of these sites, explore them. Another one to be right, because it was a few people. That's good though. That it's just so apocalyptic right now. I get so depressed when all of Canada is on fire and you go outside and it's just, if you have allergies, it's not that fun. But very nice. 1 week from today. And like, so look at this again, these megalithic it's, oh, so this one is in Egypt, and there was a similar one that is not in a line. Anywho, here's another one balancing on top. Just, it's perplexing. This is straight geopolymer wall left over. It's even got the knobs on some of them, the polygonal structure, mega blockwork. It looks just like Peru. So here's the other boat one that they were trying to do the reference to the one in Egypt. And it's just, it's amazing. This is all in Montana, so close. I have to go. I have to go see all of this. And first, I have to document the ones that are in Alberta. And so this right here, if is a Titan heel bone, this would be BioGeology, and this would be what's the same as Stellium 7s and Michael Tellinger's. Good day, Julia. Howdy, Julia. Hope you're doing well, sister. Keith Rasmussen, Logan Rothrod. Good day, brother. And then what is this? Like, is that potentially another Titan bone? It's fascinating stuff. It needs to be checked out. This also definitely ridiculously huge megalithic dual monolith structures. Like, this looks like ancient depiction of some sort, possibly. Another polygonal wall within. Just crazy amounts of these sites throughout there. It's nonstop. It's just mountains and mountains full of these. I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. So on that note, also want to show a couple more of the Montana Megaliths, right? So here is her main channel, Julie's channel, Julie Ryder. You gotta go over, subscribe. And this is the video I'm about to play, the Eagle mount, and that there's another one just like this in Alberta that I want to document and check out. And yeah, please subscribe. Look at that. This was filmed 2 years ago on my birthday.
I am Julie Ryder. Behind me is Eagle Mount Amphitheater. A huge eagle head at the top with the wings spread, creating an amphitheater. Next, you have a second layer of a condor that's flying right at you. The eagle head is facing northeast. The second condor is facing straight east, and it forms a amphitheater, which we call a parabolic mirror. In other words, it reflects sound. A shaman from Mexico brought a conch shell here and blew the conch shell to the left side of the eagle, and it echoed 7 times, where anywhere else in the valley, you didn't hear any echo. What we're seeing here is pre-megalithic. This whole area is pre-megalithic. You don't see dolmens here. You don't see square rectangular structures here. You just see these solid beings that are human, avian, aquatic, reptilian, draconian hybrids. Some look very human, some look like mixtures. We know the ancient gods in Egypt, in South America, were often animal figures. There were more bird gods in Egypt. Over 50% of the pantheon in Egypt are bird gods with bird heads, human bodies and heads of birds. We have to invent a new vocabulary. Standard archaeology does not even begin to describe what we're finding here. Whether this is a flash fossilized being, whether it was positioned here, whether it was built here, all this mystery. Sometimes it appears to be like have the essence and power of a living being. Whether it biologically checks out to be a live tissue, whether the DNA is of an eagle, we've yet to figure that out. I believe that yes, there was a mud flood, but that these are much, much older than the mud flood, and therefore they were flash fossilized because some of these are mountain sized. They're absolutely gigantic. It's part of an entire, maybe 3 to 4 miles on both sides of the stream. There are features, faces, heads, dragons. We have the evidence here of every civilization from the beginning of time, beginning of civilizations, down until 12,800 years ago when an asteroid hit North America. We have examples of each of those epochs of time. And once there was a highly, highly developed civilization that was worldwide. Because when I first started finding these, I put it on the internet, and people would come back to me and say, no, Julie, this is in Australia. This is in Russia. I was invited into Russia to make a documentary. And we have identical matches of what was here in the Montana megaliths and dolmens in Australia, of flash fossilized beings in South Africa. They're matches. The common denominator is most of these were built over gold mines and at the headwaters of major river systems. A quantum physicist once said, we have reached the end of the English language. Our language cannot describe quantum physics or the multidimensions that we are now experiencing. In Navajo, there's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth person, where in English we only have first, second, and third. Fourth and fifth person in Navajo describes interdimensional beings on an earthly level, and fifth describes interdimensional beings that are of a higher frequency level, which we would refer to as gods, even though in the Navajo language there's no such word as a god. I'm beginning to contemplate, beginning to entertain the idea that many of these were intentionally placed like an art display. You can see 180 degrees of faces that are all silhouetted. Some places it looks completely random, other places it looks intentionally designed so that from one viewpoint, the viewer sees each aspect in a 180 degree view. I can see the whole 180 degree view of this magnificent piece of art. I believe that this is how they recorded the information for later generations. It's almost like you're watching a still shot in an incredible drama movie that's happening all around you with all the different characters displaying their best features. The more we discover about these ancient megalithic beings, the more it becomes necessary for us to invent a language that accurately describes what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, the possibilities of what it can be. It doesn't fit into the box of archaeology or geology or any of the standard sciences as we know them, because this was a highly, extremely highly developed technological civilization.
So that was weird.
Water is now.
Unos momentos, por favor.
See will likely surprise you and think for yourself. Does this stone structure appear to be a purely geologic feature consisting of naturally stacked boulders that happen to be aligned in a perfectly straight fashion? Or is it possible that this is an ancient man-made wall comprising of massive polygonal stone blocks? And that is a real question. Is this completely natural, or is this man-made? Or could it be a combination of both? What you're seeing here is being referred to as the Sage Wall and is located in the remote mountainous wilderness in the state of Montana. It is some 275 feet long, or 84 meters, and up to 24 feet, or 7.5 meters in height. And let's be real, the secluded woods of Montana, surrounded by 400-year-old pine trees, is among the lesser likely of places where we would expect to find remnants of a long-lost ancient civilization, especially one that would have had such sophisticated stonework capabilities. Now, if you're wondering how you've never seen or heard of this place before, it's because this is on private property, which is why it is virtually unknown to the scientific community, as the couple who own the land themselves were unaware of this wall's existence for years, as it is located on the side of a mountain and was previously consumed with fallen trees and heavy foliage that had covered most of it for hundreds and, more likely, many thousands of years, leaving this distinguished wall-like structure barely discernible, especially with so few people ever having stepped foot near it. In fact, it is still completely invisible from satellite imagery on Google Earth. However, with the area around the wall now cleared, we can easily observe its stunning resemblance to what many consider to be one of the more bizarre enigmas involving the topic of lost ancient human civilizations, which is the existing polygonal stonework that is found on multiple continents and across vast oceans around the world. Whether it be the astonishing megalithic walls found throughout Peru and South America, the sheer size and precision of which boggles the mind, or the examples found on the other side of the world in Egypt, as I've shared in prior videos. However, many people are often surprised to learn that ancient polygonal stone walls can be found in multiple countries throughout Europe, including Greece, Italy, and even Turkey. These ruins are truly remarkable, yet they receive so little attention compared to the more notable ancient European attractions found in Rome and Athens that we certainly all recognize. But I must also mention that virtually everyone is taken by surprise when they learn that these ancient similarities can be found as far away as Easter Island and even Japan. Pretty remarkable to see these unique similarities across so many vastly different places on Earth. So the big question becomes, is the Sage Wall in Montana a relic of a long-lost ancient civilization, or simply a uniquely natural geological feature? Or perhaps, like I just mentioned a moment ago, could it be a combination of both, perhaps mostly natural, but geoengineered and enhanced by humans at some point in the distant past? Now, from what research I've gathered, the scientific explanation for a formation such as this is that it is an eroded magmatic dike that was created through volcanic processes when rising magma fills into fractures within older stone bedrock, which then cools and solidifies, leaving behind a wall-like feature, as we can see in these various examples. And over time, erosion creates cracks and fissures in the stone, such as what we see at the Sage Wall. I took it upon myself to scour the internet to find other examples of magmatic dike formations, and it's incredible to observe the nature of how things come to form in such uncommon ways. But I must say that as impressive as these examples are, there is nothing about them that gives me any type of feeling or inclination that they are man-made or anything other than natural. However, that's just not the same vibe or feeling I get when I first look at the Sage Wall, as none of the other examples look quite as distinctive as this, mainly the nature of how the stones appear purposely pieced and stacked together and with such alignment. Whereas other known geologic dikes certainly have cracks and fractures, yet they simply do not share the same resemblance. And what makes the Sage Wall even more interesting is how much it differentiates itself from the surrounding area as seen from drone footage. The wooded mountainous area is covered in boulders, a boulder batholith as it's called, and is said to be 75 million years old. But then there's this bizarre, perfectly straight-lined wall, which is a standout to say the least. Now, speaking of the area surrounding this wall, I've come to learn that there are many other incredible, or rather perplexing, stone anomalies not far away from here. Whether it be the remarkable way in which boulders are stacked in a dolmen-like appearance, assembled as if a table or portal, as some have described, and although I am not suggesting that these various examples I'm showing you here are man-made, as I can imagine that over the course of vast lengths of time through erosion and earthquakes, boulders will fall down off cliffs and hillsides and come to rest in ways that would otherwise seem deliberate or artificial. However, I have to say that I am quite surprised at just how remarkable some of the stone features in this area are, most of which very few people have ever documented. But if you Google search Montana megaliths, you will come across many fascinating examples of nature's geological wonders in this region that are just now starting to get more attention. But with that said, let's go back to the Sage Wall. Besides its remarkably straight-lined fashion, observe how the cracks and fissures that make up these boulders often do not continue from one block to the other. It gives an untrained eye the impression that these stones were stacked and pieced together in a puzzle-like structure. And just steps away from the main wall, there are other smaller blocks that appear to be cut and aligned with each other. Again, I cannot definitively say one way or the other as to whether these stones were actually cut or how they were formed and came to look as they do now. I'm just saying that the gut impression I have when I first see this site is that it must surely be man-made, or if nothing else, geoengineered and crafted from the boulders that naturally make up this area. But if all of what you've seen so far isn't intriguing enough, the next few things you're going to see will likely surprise you. First, notice these cup-like marks found on stones in the vicinity of the Sage Wall, and notice how perfectly symmetrical some of them are. Someone please explain how on earth they could be totally natural. In fact, they seem to be something that was used for sharpening tools or perhaps food processing. Whatever their purpose was, I'm not so sure that they were formed through erosion. Which is why I must point out that very similar examples can be found in ancient stonework on the other side of the world, including Scotland and even as far away as Azerbaijan, which is located along the Caspian Sea. And although these cut marks are certainly not conclusive evidence of some ancient connection across the continents, it does seem reasonable to say that humans, perhaps the Native Americans, had utilized this site in the past, at least to some capacity. I mean, look at the more cut-like marks found at this site. Was this used for tool sharpening? Whatever their purpose was, they do seem to be carved out and not some form of erosion. Now, before I show you something that I consider to be even more interesting and raises deeper questions about this site potentially being a long-lost ancient ruin, I must first give a huge shout out to my buddy Mike Collins of the Wandering Wolf YouTube channel. He has visited this site personally on multiple occasions now and has sent me these incredible photos of the Sage Wall. I've only shown you a small fraction of all the images and video that he's taken of this site, including incredible drone footage, which is why I highly recommend that you go subscribe to his channel right now. In fact, he's currently traveling in the field and is visiting other sites that I've never seen or heard of before. Now, with that said, let me show you what else he documented at the Sage Wall that I find to be unbelievably fascinating and raises thought-provoking ideas about what's possible for this site. As I've shared in past videos, these nub-like features found in ancient stonework across the world are something that I and many others consider to be evidence that ancient humans were traversing the oceans and continents long before it was ever thought to be possible. Some will say that these nubs are nothing more than lifting bosses, but what's odd is that most of the stones don't have them. So regardless of whatever their true purpose was, they are indeed a similarity that coincidentally are found on ancient stonework around the world. So I have to say that I find it quite interesting that similar examples of these same parabolically shaped stone nubs are also found at the Sage Wall and in multiple different locations throughout the structure, not just one fluke little example that you might just dismiss as a unique erosion feature. In fact, one of the nubs even appears to be balancing that entire stone dolmen-like structure upright that I showed you earlier. Notice how it's centered at its base, and without it, it seems that the whole thing would topple over. Leave a comment on whether you think that this is nothing more than a natural fluke, or if you think that these various nubs were created with purpose and intention. But when I see examples of these nubs, as well as the cup-like cutouts and other unique cuts into the stone, as I just shared a moment ago, it makes me lean towards that this site is not solely a natural anomaly, and that we may very well be looking at evidence that ancient humans had altered this site to what it is now. But to what extent is indeed a mystery. I mean, did they actually construct this wall to make it look as it does now? That I do not know. And that is why I insist that this fascinating site must be studied by experts. They should LiDAR and use ground penetrating radar at this site to see what may lay hidden down below. And they should also take 3D scans of the stones to establish if there's any evidence that they've been cut. And they should also collect organic material from underneath this wall's foundation stones to be analyzed to potentially date its age. And if nothing else, if everything we've seen in this video is totally natural, then it seems to me that it's a fantastic opportunity for people to learn something new and share knowledge of nature's wonders with the masses. Which is why I also encourage you to go and visit this site yourself, which is easily accessible as it's only an hour outside of Bozeman, Montana, which makes it far more available and affordable to travel to compared to places such as Peru or Egypt that so many desire to visit, but are unable to due to the feasibility of international travel. Go and visit the Sage Mountain Center website. I'll include a link in the description of this video as well as the pinned comment down below. But keep in mind that this is private property, so you can only visit by appointment or reservation only. Do not show up here. Simply call or email Chris and Linda, the wonderful couple who owns this property and run the Sage Mountain Center that's located on the land. Now, I have to say that I find this site to be particularly fascinating, and I intend to go visit there later this summer. But I cannot honestly say one way or the other. Like, it could simply be totally natural, a freak of nature, so to speak. But part of me, when I first look at it, that gut impression is like, oh, come on, this has to be more than just natural. Is it possible that these boulders were out there and an ancient people in the past had lined them up together? That's a big if, and that might not be the case at all. But again, it's something rare to find something new that you haven't seen before that's so easily accessible, at least for us here in the United States, where it's a short plane ride away and an hour drive from the airport in Bozeman, Montana. So that's why it needs to be visited and explored. But I do have to say that if this site turns out to be a long-lost ancient ruin, that would stand to change everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations of North America, as this is simply not supposed to be possible. And when you think about it, it would imply that this site would potentially be super ancient, possibly formed many, many thousands of years ago, or perhaps, dare I say, built before this part of the Northern Rockies had even lifted. And that's a big if, and maybe incredibly unlikely, but we'll never know for sure unless we go looking and exploring to seek answers. Now, with that said, I have a huge announcement, which is that I'm going to be giving a live speaking event this October 20th.
Oopsies. And yeah, so that was Jimmy Bright Insight. Glad that he's bringing, he's got quite the large channel, most famous for bringing attention to the Eye of the Sahara, which he claims to be the possible location of the Atlantis city itself, with the three main rings as well, the head Atlantean city. Anywho, moving on with the Montana megaliths and the Alberta ones as well, that there is she was showing off Wandering Wolf, their channel, who's done some great work all around this area lately, and he's also went down and saw the Saskatchewan mystery rocks recently, that I have a picture of right here. So this is another site that hopefully I'm gonna get to this summer myself to go explore. That's the Montana ones. Oops. Oh man, I had them in order and then they don't go in order at all. So this is also Montana in that area, and I've seen so many like this on the Cowboy Trail in southern Alberta that just have stood out to me as being artificial. Yeah, 420 on the west coast right now, 421, just missed it, but smoke them if you got them. And that's there's places that I'm going to explore with my drone and hike this summer that look like that. This is in Writing on Rock, Badlands, Alberta. Here again, the geopolymer polygonal wall and rocks in Montana's megaliths. This is the first site I'm going to be going to, hopefully this next week, if not 2 weeks from now, depends on my having to move my storage unit this month now. That I'm done moving my mom, luckily. But anyways, main thing, we are going here in the next week or two to check it out. And it's a Badland site. And this geopolymer wall right here, the polygonal structures, this is also at the Giants Playground in Montana. This is this the Three Sisters? No. Dolmen, that's in Alberta. Another carving in Alberta. This is Montana megalith. This is more Badlands, I believe. Both of these are the hoodoos of Writing Rock Park, but there's pretty much identical ones at both Drumheller Badlands. That one might be Drumheller, as well as the Medicine Hat Badlands that we will be going to. Oh, this is the pyramids and face, but drawn. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it. This is the Montana site. Another Montana site. Another megalithic Montana site. More Montana. So I'm going to try to make it to this Montana megalith site this year. Oh yeah, look at the eagle. The eagle is something else here. Sorry. Bitty bitty. There we go. The eagle, bald eagle, the beak right there, the eye, the head, the wings, all of that. It's pretty epic. See, lots of times you can see the faces in them, lots of times not. That one definitely you can see the full face remaining. Like, is that a mud fossil troll giant? I don't know. It may, but it does look brick like too. Who knows? But it's definitely not natural in the sense that it just eroded into that. That is intelligently created of some sort. Once again, Medicine Hat Badlands Guardians. Here's the birds at the Montana megalith site. More of the Montana megalith site. So I'm going to have to time myself going down here to when Graham Hancock supposedly is, as Julie said. And Jimmy himself, also Bright Insight, supposedly going there. So I got to get myself down there. And it's not just the Sage Wall. All of these are also in the Montana megalith sites. This looks like a giant Buddha and is named as such. This is the site. This is the Saskatchewan Mystery Rocks that Wandering Wolf had just done some epic episodes and drone footage of. Explanation of. Definitely a megalithic site as well, and that there's sites like this all throughout Alberta and Saskatchewan, and the different former sites that exist here. Here's the two Titan feet of the Montana megalith sites. This is the Alberta Stonehenge, I believe. The center of it. So yeah, this is in Saskatchewan, these megalithic sites. I forget which one that is. This is in Alberta. Montana. Oh, this is the Dragon site in Montana. More of the Montana megaliths. This is excavation at Cypress Hill, Alberta, Saskatchewan border national park, but there's also huge megalithic stuff there. I believe this is a view from the Three Sisters, Canmore. Three Sisters in Canmore is another site I'm going to have to hike the backside of that has crazy megalithics on it. This is this megalithic stonework. This is at Cypress Hills, Alberta. Megalithic rockwork, fairly close to the Saskatchewan mystery rocks. Here's the swan again, full swan of the Montana megaliths. One of the faces of the Montana megalith site. The rhino. And here's another geoglyph face as well. I believe this is in Montana. This guy here. And there's supposedly, I've seen a play. I have to find the website that depicts this one, but there's actually like 10 of them, just like the Medicine Hat Badland Guardian geoglyphs. That site in Montana supposedly has like 10 or so of them right around it that I'd seen one place show. This is Writing Rock Badlands again. More dolmen at the Montana megaliths. Julie there. So I'm definitely going to this site no matter what this year, and exploring all of these sites hopefully this year. Shout out Joe Cool, good to see you. And JJ Organics and Frankie did the meetup today that I sadly missed out, but look forward to seeing the video of what you explored down in downtown Calgary, the mud flood that was there. This is the Siberian megalith, so just to show that same latitude or lengths or whatnot, that northern giants everywhere. And so this is another face. This one's in the Egypt Canal, the Nasser megalith or geoglyph, the Nasser face, the Nasser site. It's been hidden up. This is another geoglyph that it's supposedly a man depicting like a hunter or something that was exposed from a fire in Montana in 2015 or 2017 or something. That was a bad image of it. So this is Kazakhstan balls, but I found out, oh, this is in Okotoks. This is just south of Calgary where I live. This is actually about 45 minutes drive from where I live. 15 minutes drive actually from Amber, my girlfriend's place. So actually I will go do a live from here very soon. And it almost looks like there's a face in it or two. But it also kind of looks blockish too. It's always been super sus to me. So we're going to go there and check it out. This is another geoglyph site, I believe, maybe Montana. Here's the Three Sisters. The backside of supposedly has crazy terraforming as well, and an ancient site in it. So the medicine wheels. So Three Sisters in Alberta, that site that I'm going to have to check out. This is Montana megaliths again. They are everywhere. This is Alberta, Badlands, different Alberta. And again, Montana. Montana. Oops. These are megaliths in Montana, or geoglyphs in Montana. Oh, is that so? One of the astral calendars, and I believe this one is in Alberta. This is in Orion, Alberta, and so this is backside of Three Sisters, and I see a face right here, and what could be, and what supposedly that there's three faces on the backside of the Three Sisters. This could be a face looking up as well, supposedly, I believe. More of the Montana megaliths. I believe this is the more of the Alberta Orion ball stones. Nephir, sleeping goddess. So I guess, oh, there's the face. You can see. Got to get them at the right angles. Stone circle. Ooh. This megalith, another one in Montana, like straight dolmen. That one looks like a couple faces for sure with the right sun on them. I think is that this one. So these are in Orion, Alberta, a place called Orion, Alberta. And that, yes, the balls, I have to go to Orion, Alberta to claim some of BurnEye's balls and that they're there. And the robotic watcher, this is in Giants Playground, Montana, yet it does also exist at Mount Yamaniska, Alberta, which I have hiked and have photos of that exact one, and I need to get the right SIM card out to be able to show it. But in the meantime, here's what is on the other side of Mount Yamaniska, and this is the guardians of Mount Yamaniska, the backside. These guys with faces right here, kind of carved still, you can still see, and that there's a pathway up, and there's a carved path up the cliff that goes into a cave site, and that yeah, there's the cave there with the carved path and the carved path over here, both behind the guardians at Mount Yamaniska. And I'll play it right. Okay, nice. See, Orion is just south of Medicine Hat. So those, right, they're right next to each other. The Badland Guardians and those mysterious balls that appear all over the world. And this site up top here also is, I've found some guys carved into this part of the mountain. And here's where the carved staircases are and the guardians here. And the robotic, this is the mountain facing back from Mount Yamaniska. This video I took at Mount Yamaniska, and that there is the robotic watcher about, I'd say, 50 feet from where I recorded this video on Mount Yamaniska. This was on the backside. On the front side of the mountain is where the robotic watcher guy was that I need to find the footage of. Could be, right? Who knows? Tests need to be done. Fascinating sight. Never frick. Stupid video. I try to pause it, but I never get it at the right. Nope. Right here, I believe, is a guy that kind of looks like a carved statue of a figure. And yeah, anyways, need to go back and get better footage of that stuff. All right, what do we have left to share here? Or did I cover most of it that I wanted to? We are 1 hour, 25 minutes in. Yeah, I got a little bit more to share. So one more time, let's do the Montana Megaliths, the Tyrannosaurus Rex site. And this apparently is across from the Dragon Temple. And that this right here is what they're saying is a petrified T-Rex on the top of this mountain right here in full full form.
Every rider at the Montana Megaliths. I'm on the Missouri River looking over the ice and snow as the river flows. Above the river, there is a flash fossilized Tyrannosaurus rex. You can see the left cheek, the eye, the different sections of his body down to the tail. Above the Missouri River in the Montana Megaliths north. Right across this mountain is Dragon's Lair on the other side. There's a valley and then another cliff mountain above Dragon's Lair. I'm in the Montana Megaliths north. Where there's like 4-mile loop of dinosaurs, dragons, flash fossilized beings, extraordinary, perfectly intact, flash fossilized, stone, ancient, pre-megalithic biological beings.
When people are
And that's the difference when playing with Twitter or YouTube. If you play YouTube through Twitter, no ads. You play YouTube through YouTube, it's going to spam you with ads every time. Those savages. Okay, so what I did want to... Okay, yes. I found one more that awesome video out of a YouTube channel from Africa, and that I shared this on the community section of my channel and on Twitter here, and that Africans also questioning official geology, and that whether it's giants or the mega trees, whatever it is. Oh, bye, Julia. Love you, sister. Love all of you, everyone.
Today, we'll visit the
Epic
Devil's
stuff.
Tower, or the home of giants, or should I say, the Giant Causeway. Well, that's not exactly the name of this place, but in Northern Ireland, where this same structure exists, that is what it is called. But here in Nigeria, we call this place Dutse Mamaki, an Hausa word that is translated the mysterious rock. This is one of the many wonders in Nigeria people don't know or talk about. But where is this place exactly, and how did it come about? Is this the work of nature, the work of God, aliens, or giants? Well, in today's video, let's find out. You're currently watching our Northern Nigeria documentary series. Hope you have seen the other episode. If you haven't, please do check them out. So today's video, I want to show you our mission. That's my mission. So I'm climbing on top of that hill this afternoon. That is the mission. According to the explanation given by scientists of this similar structure in Northern Ireland, they said that this structure came into existence as a result of volcanic events that erupted the Earth million years ago. However, legends also have it that this cylindrical, well-arranged shaped rock were homes of giants with such names as Phil McCool, who lived on Earth many years ago. So today our mission is to climb to the top of that hill. All right, so we are currently in a place called Dutse Mamaki in Bilibri local government area of Gombe State. All right, when we get to the top of that hill, then we are going to see this magically well arranged stone that is very, very unexplainable. Nobody can explain how those stones were magically arranged in a very beautiful way. And I'm also told that someone actually built the steps to get to the top just to make the hiking a little more easier. And I'm also told that it takes around 2 hours to hike from this place to get to the top. All right. Unfortunately for us, we are coming here in the afternoon. So we have been beaten by the sun. But nonetheless, we're going to take up the challenge to get to the top. All right. So we have actually begun the climbing right now. So we are on our way. The bike guys that brought me, I have asked them to count the steps so we can be sure the number of steps that this place takes. Who go watch your bike? Okay. The number of steps that it will take to get to that top. That's what I'm doing. So those are the two bike guys that brought me / tour guys. I think the more you're going up, the more it's getting more difficult to climb. Whew. Especially with the sun. Man, this is not easy. And that's the second resting point. Listen, I know you're enjoying this video so far, but do me a favor, please click the like button and like this video. And also do me one big favor, click the share button and share this video so more people can get to see it. Many of you that are watching this video actually watch with your smart televisions. I know right now you're not watching with your phone, but please, could you pull up your phone and please subscribe to the channel? You've been watching without subscribing. Pull up your phone and subscribe. We really need to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of April. Please help me. Let's achieve that. Subscribe and also share the video so other people can get to see what we are doing on this channel. All right, thank you very much. Let's get back to the video. You can see the mountains, how beautiful they look. I hope those resting points have some kind of a shed. Then that would have been very good. But here we are. All right, so we are going to continue the climb. How many have you counted? 001. Are you sure?
Yeah.
We'll have to recount what we are coming down. This part we are climbing have no steps, it's very rough. So we just have to climb. This is where our step ended all over there. Now we are climbing on a very rough road. This is not easy. Traveling around Nigeria. Look at those beautiful stones. This is what we are going to see. We are beginning to climb the stones that are carefully arranged. As you can see, these are the stones that are actually carefully arranged all around here. Nigeria is truly beautiful, and if you don't travel, you will not see. Here are these stones beautifully arranged. Let's go. Oh, Rababa, let's go. All right, so we are still. I'll have to see. Keep going. There. So we are going.
There is joy found in the race, and I feel it in the place where I'm free.
Don't want to get no copyright with no music track there. Oh dear, I forgot that plays. Let's play some non. Here we go, some non-copyright music. And I also want to point out, look at all the basalt, just insane amounts. And then also look at that layered, that's terraced, all terraced or step pyramid, step construction on in the background, all the mountains and constructions behind this basalt peak. So that's not just this. So whatever this basalt formation is, he's saying not natural or tree, but I'm saying that look at the structures behind that are all terraced, and they're just like as Michael Tellinger shows in South Africa, terraced constructions. And let's see now if if the music on his is over.
I'm living free.
All right, so yes, still the star fort in Quebec is gorgeous. It's so gorgeous, and we have to watch this. This is in, I believe, Nigeria or no, oh, where did he say? Somewhere, I believe, in like I don't even know. I'm gonna have to unmute. I think the music's finally off.
Aliens or giants.
Oops.
The bike guys that brought me also have to engage them to the record. So that's why it took that long. It can actually take longer depending on how you are able to climb. So I actually like to climb fast because I have so many other things to shoot. So just look at how this cylindrical well-shaped rock are so arranged like some kind of temple or ancient ruin house. Do you really think this place was as a result of volcanic eruption? And if it is, how come we have not seen any such eruption again in recent times? Well, that's because I believe scientists lied. Because many of them don't believe in God or giants. Well, as you watch this video, I don't know what is your conclusion. Do you think this is as a result of volcanic eruption, or do you think this is the work of giants? Comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. Many movies like Game of Thrones have gotten their inspiration from places like this and even acted in areas like this. Unfortunately, most of our Nigerian Nollywood movies are yet to evolve into creating movies that reflect stories of places like this. Well, never mind, very soon you may actually find my movie on your screen one of those days. Just keep watching. Wow. Okay.
But I didn't have a place that I would go. I would just come here to spend my time.
Anytime I came here, I used to feel like beautiful and calm.
I think it's God that arranged this thing.
Work of God, the work of that make this stone be like this. Yeah.
Paul and Joshua believe that this place was put together by God. All right. But why is it I'm the doubting Thomas that actually believe that these things was put together by some Nephilim or giant that used to live here many years ago? Because if you see how well this place is arranged, you can see that it's intelligently put together. So, and it's not arranged in any other side in all of this whole place where we are right now. It's just arranged only here. So I believe that this was not just nature. I believe that this was put together by some beings that used to live here many years ago. You know, this earth has been here for millions of years, so there's a lot that we don't know. And believe it or not, the giants used to live in this world. They are called Nephilims. For those of us who are Christians, who retire, we know about giants. If you don't know about giants, well, sorry, but giants used to live in this planet Earth. So I believe that they also lived here and put this together. We actually been to Taraba in Calgary, where we find fruits of giants. So it does exist. In case you haven't seen that video, watch that video. When we went to look for giants, they found fruits of giants. It's just exactly fruit of human being. A lot more there. So definitely there's no other way to see it. So that is just my own theory. And thank you so much for watching today's video. If you visit Gombe State, please visit this place. It's a lovely.
All right. So pretty epic that video there of showing. Good on him for hiking it and getting it preserved. Maybe Nigeria, is that could be the right place? You said northern Nigeria. I'm gonna have to double check on that. And that I'm leaning personally more towards the giant tree possibility with basalts, or that it's like it has to be terraformed from like the most advanced ancients, just the scale of it, like Nan Pendole. I don't know. We're gonna have to talk to Dutch about it some more in the upcoming episode, as well as shout out Stellium 7 and 13th Monkey. We're gonna have to just put all the evidence forward, and Stellium's been doing some great work on that, as has Hangman 7 for a long time, for the Titan trees and the real possibilities of those. Okay, what were the last things, other things that I wanted to show with this before we all go? The similarities, of course, to the Medicine Hat Badlands Guardians, which is the next place that I am going to be going. And it's happening in this month of June. We are going here, and we are going to find and document the earthenworks of the geoglyphs themselves for the mapping these sites 3, 2, 4, 1, and 5, and the earthenworks that are these lines that the Ferrum Foundation has figured out, and that does the whole geoglyphology mapping and the science of geoglyphology that proves these suppressed, hidden, advanced, ancient societies, technologies, and reasons of this terraforming astroarchaeology and building, mapping these territories and positions and being seen from the sky. The whole point that it's sky mapping, and that I'm going to be going to find whether these are built with rocks or just raised earth. Either way, confirm that they're there and that they are the lengths that Arthur Fairham has stated to measure at these sites, and that if that is confirmed the case, that that is just insane, that this territory and all of these ancient sites are written into the Alberta Medicine Hat Badland Guardians, including the Great Salt Lake City, south end of Long Island, New York, Pensacola Bay, Florida, Mobile Bay, Alabama, Sabine River entrance at Port Arthur, Texas, are in Geoglyphs 5. North tip of Greenland, south tip of Cornwall, southern Canary Islands, junction of Ottawa River and St. Lawrence Seaway, entrance to river at Portsmouth, New Hampshire, USA, what he's called the Ferrum Tower, Maitland, Canada, a place that he found because of geoglyphs and the most recent ones, and that it was built into these new ones by the the Templar at just a couple hundred years ago, supposedly, or something like that. Also, southern end of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, Chaco Canyon, home of the Azenani Indians, Shiprock Mountain, New Mexico, wow, and another sacred Azenani site, Cape Blanco, Oregon. That's all of the geoglyphs of Site 4. And that you can even see the lines here, and that gotta go document them before they get destroyed, get the evidence of this, and verify Arthur Ferrum's work. Here's the Ferrum Tower that he found, as it pointed, the ancient site here pointed to it, and then he went and found that whatever ancient site used to be here was destroyed, and that the Templars built this new one. And each of these windows points out, I guess, to specific spots or something. I'm going to have to read up on that one. It's got its own report on his website. And for anyone that wants to read the full Ferrum Foundation Medicine Hat Badland Guardians projector piece by Arthur Farum. There it is in the live chat. I recommend everybody does who has the time, as it is quite a lot of epic, awesome science. And that for those that are just seeing this for the first time, he also has the Bosnian pyramids, the Yanaguni pyramid underwater in Japan, Indonesian pyramids. All of them are a part of this geoglyphology, specifically the Bosnian pyramids. He's able to date them by age, by when they appear in other ancient geoglyph sites, and when they stopped appearing in more recent geoglyph sites, since he hasn't found any geoglyph like the cities, the star city stuff like that, like old city Moscow, and other ones, the bastion forts, or sorry, that he found the bastion forts here with the new geoglyphs in them on top, so that, yes, they are built into, yes, that's right, sorry, forgetting here that the actual angles and lengths of the pyramids themselves plot out to the Tunis, Luxor, Lewis Island, these specific sites. There was another destroyed one that I guess he found because of it plotted out from one of these other angles. You have the 4 cardinal points in, you get Southern Bay of Russia, African geoglyphs, Cape Town, Bay of Nazarenes. So I still need to fully read out his mathematics of all of these measurements and how he gets it, but states that it goes to all of these specific sites. The trigonometry of the 3 pyramids also perfectly aligns to several more sites, including the Gates of Hercules, I believe, there, or tip of Portugal, tip of Africa, and yeah, so Moscow Street geoglyphs, how it plots out each of the angles of the roads from the center point, also apply to his mathematics that plot out to all of the territory of current Russia. It's quite fascinating stuff. And then, yes, the bastion forts that have been built, they're in ruins, they're so old, but they're newer compared to the original ancient pyramid mountains, but they're what's known as colonial era of built, and that they're on top of the Bosnian pyramids, and they're more recent update of the geoglyphs, and that they also plot out to brand new areas, specific borders once again, and geoglyphic locations. This is the one on the moon, so there's 2 bastion forts on both of the pyramids, plotting out to more specific spots, and that it's the specific territory of the European Union, and they're including Ukraine in this territory of the Bosnian pyramid. And oh look, there's Russia, and that's what's being fought over today. Ancient border markers. Yeah, so just I'm not going fully into it, as I've covered it many times before, and that I will be doing a more advanced full geoglyphology Farum Foundation episodes and stream in the future, including going deep into his actual book, Ancient Signposts, and connecting it all, because there's just so much. I definitely am going. So I'm going to be going to all these sites eventually, but first site is Medicine Hat Badland Guardians. I am going here without a shadow of the doubt. Hopefully next weekend or 2 from now. I will be letting everybody know tomorrow. Actually, I'll be figuring it out 100%, and checking out this whole valley, and how much it also looks like these sites in the Grand Canyon, another alignment space, topographical map of all the peaks. It's just they're identical to all of it. And on that note, we will play Mystery Rocks of Saskatchewan by Wandering Wolf. Doing excellent work. Highly recommend his channel as well. And I will share it in a second for everybody. Sorry, as it loads. And these sort of rock sites I've seen all over southern Alberta and Saskatchewan. Right, and what looks like, I think, probably geopolymer, and I think that this was probably a geoglyph as well. It definitely needs LiDAR done, and he does do a good job. He's got several videos of the site. This one's just a walkthrough with no commentary. He also does drone footage of it and walkthrough with his commentary. And I highly recommend all of them. And do go subscribe to Wandering Wolf. Posting this video again for everybody in the live chat right now. Excellent channel and work. So this is the site when I go to Montana. I will be stopping by this site as it's on the way, pretty much, as is Cypress Hill. I'm going to be doing all of them, like through July and August. Like I'm going to be doing at least a site every 2 weeks. There's so many that are around me now. I'm stoked on this, and there's a lot of boots on the ground work for me to come. And if you'd like to support and help fund it happen, it's always appreciated. Everything does help. Bless all of you that have. Thank you. Notice how they're all in straight lines, like straight lined up, and these are huge. And then when he gets to the end, when they're like not even centimeters, millimeters apart, and that they also have the circle erosion, or not erosion, just hole marks in them, pure, perfect circle holes manufactured into them. And these things are massive, middle of nowhere. It's just, I can't wait to get out to these sites myself. So, shout out to Wandering Wolf for going to and doing such epic videos of the site. This is only one of many. Like I said, he also does a walkthrough with his own opinions on it, as well as epic drone footage of it. He also, on top of it, does Sage Wall, and he's gone to all the sites that I plan on. Well, half the sites, maybe actually I should say about a quarter of the sites that I plan on going this year. But make sure to go subscribe to Wandering Wolf and check out the rest of his works right there in the live chat. Quite possibly, right? And we need LiDAR of these sites, and I believe that the hole's probably where like foundations for like the logs to go in for walls and stuff, but that there's probably underground caves and who knows what else built, and that I see megalithic stones and alignments like this all throughout southern Alberta, throughout what's known as the Cowboy Trail, south from Black Diamond and Longview, all the way down to the Crow's Nest Pass, and all throughout the Crow's Nest Pass area as well. Just non-stop stuff like this. And then there's also Pyramidal Mountains amongst them. And then, like I said, you've got the Three Sisters area in Canmore, the Mount Yamaniska that I'm going back to explore more of, the bit of that I showed off today. And there's Lake Louise, so many sites, the Banff Hot Springs, that behind them there's these crazy suppressed sites, and that this stuff's literally everywhere. And I do plan on going to Montana and visiting my family down there. Maybe even do the road trip with Mom. I'm talking with Mom right now about it. Visiting some family and getting to see the Giants Playground and Sage Wall. And it's going to be really, really epic. Frank Slide, oh man, there's something else to that too. I'm going to have to check that out, Frankie, and definitely be doing my own. Actually, on my original channel, I did live streams from Frank's Live, actually, as I drove through it. I still need to try to get Bernard Conkin, my original YouTube channel, back. Anybody out there that wants to help, please do petition YouTube to get me my original channel back so you can check out the Frank Slides one. Right? There's Three Sisters, so many different Three Sisters. And all of them, I believe, have different crazy sites to them. He shows at the top what he says he believes could be the quarry, but it could just be more of the structure sticking out of the ground. So yeah, that's epic stuff by Wandering Wolf, and that's, oops. See, the second you click onto YouTube, you get the ads playing. Make sure you do go subscribe to everybody, all the videos I've shown today. So much truth getting exposed to ancient sites and knowledge coming out. And all right, we are 2 hours and 8 minutes in. Welcome, new Christopher, Danico, KB, Haha, Scott Rose, Megat's still here, Margaret, Cat I Am Holistic, Frankie New West Reset, Nasiri, Grizzly Sue still here all the way from the start, Irma B, Logan Rothschild, my brother, Chief Rainian in the Pants, is that? Did you change your name, or is I'm confused. Anyways, back to the last few things I did want to share. Some more pictures of Montana megaliths and Alberta megaliths amongst. And, oh, wait, no. Or yes, a little bit more of that. But then, and see like these, that is... this is in Montana, but I see very similar in southern Alberta, but also in the Grand Canyon pyramids and throughout Siberia and all over the place, and that lots of these are most likely ancient ruins. And this is in the Montana megaliths, I believe, as well. But all of these arches, like, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, John Sup, super sticker, greatly appreciated. Always with continued support, and it is needed and it helps. And thank you, John Sub. Thank you, brother. And like, I'm gonna have to do an episode just on, I think it's in Arizona or maybe New Mexico or Four Corners area, but there's like the National Park of Arches. I think it says like there's 38 of them. It's just insane, and it's like they're everywhere, and there's lots of legends of them being portals, and I highly believe that possibility and the countless different stories of people's experiences of them being portals of sorts that they activate in different ways, and that's most likely the case. And this is just another one in this megalithic site. Here's the backside, I believe, of the Three Sisters in Canmore, and right here you can see one of what looks like the faces, the eyebrow brim, eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the forehead. Oh, Chief Rainian in the pants. Shout out, thank you. Bless your soul as well for the support. $20 super chat. And John Sup, and thank you both. It does help, and I will actually get it. I finally got my first YouTube check, so it's for this month. It's what guarantees me going to the Medicine Hat Badlands geoglyphs here in the next week or two. I've set aside the gas and hotel money and whatnot, so all donations coming through for the next month that I will get in July will be for me going back to Mount Yamaniska and exploring that area, backpacking in for a couple days, taking the drone out. And who knows, I might even be able to go up to the Three Sisters here. It's only about 20 minutes up the Trans-Canada from Mount Yamaniska, and see if I can get my drone out to it. Lorian. So the Continental Divide is also another very, very interesting area throughout Alberta and BC area here. As well as it goes south down into Montana. I'm not sure which one this is, Laurential Divide. I think this is in Alberta. BC Divide, I'm going to have to double check. But look at like how almost pyramidal a lot of the tops kind of seem. And that these walls, the mountain ridge walls, lots of great episodes by shout out Ben, the archivist analog, showing episodes on the different walls of America, and many others. So this is Canmore, the Three Sisters, and it's the backside with the carvings that are supposedly world famous. Here's a Thunderbird at the Mystery Rocks. Clearly see the beak, and that this is like red rock somehow must have been geoglyphed in to it. Or sorry, geopolymer built in to have this red rock connected to the rest of the beige conglomerate substrate. This is also a giant's playground in the megaliths in Montana, and this is identical to the blasted open stones of, sorry, I'm trying to skip through to find if it's close. Oh my gosh, it's not. All right, well, I wasted a head for nothing trying to find the Egyptian Giza pyramid that is identical megalithic stones to this right here that's in Montana. And then this is, what realm are we? Is it just a bunch of turtles? Are we just living on the back of intergalactic sea turtles? North America, maybe? And then this is Montana megaliths. Is it a turtle megalith, I think, or something like that? Or something. Just huge. The Twin Flames monuments in and Atlantis Circle in Montana, the megalith sites. Another one in Montana. This sort of stuff I see all over Alberta and BC as well. The intergalactic meeting of what looks like Benjamin Franklin-ish guy. I call it of that. So this, I believe, this is Orion, Alberta. This is where the balls are in the Badlands, Orion, Alberta, which is right close by Medicine Hat, Alberta. Yeah, Yosemite too. Yosemite is a fascinating place. Now looking at it with new eyes, I was there as a child with my family. Would love to go back. So here's some more hoodoos. I believe this is Writing on Rock, Alberta, but it could be the Medicine Hat Badlands. It could be Drumheller Badlands. There's so many of these in Alberta. It's insane. And these do look like it's plasma catastrophe that they survived. This is either Alberta or Kazakhstan. I'm not sure which one. Oh, is that the end of it? Is that the end of that file folder? Let me see here. Did we make it? Did we make it through all the photos? Defeat? Oh, yeah, that is. All right, but did it go? Let's see. Did it miss one? Did I? Why isn't it? See, it didn't open all of them. There's some I was trying to find. All right, well. Woo! How many crazy megaliths can you see in a minute? Are you going to tell me all of this is natural? Who can, like, yes, this is all pareidolia. This is all natural. There we go. That one's in Orion, Alberta. Montana, Alberta. Look at this. The faces, that's a dolmen. Like, modern geology is going to what? Try to claim that a glacier dropped that and rested it. Like, who believes? Let's do a poll. Let's do a live chat poll. Why not while we're here? Engage the audience. Yes, start a poll. Who believes in a glacier formed this? AKA not natural. Or is natural. There we go. Ask the audience. Ask your community. posted in Crypto Alchemist poll now. And let's also get that going in the BurnEye poll now. Oh, shout out F-Stop Rentals, my California brother. Hope you're doing well. Here we go, right back, a boom. And ask your community. There it is in the BurnEye. Let me know what you think. Is it natural? Did a glacier form that, or is that intelligently made? While you're filling out the poll, also live on Rumble, please do subscribe and give a like. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in and watching today. I believe this is going to be this has been one epic monumental stream, and it's going to continue to be. So these ancients, actually, look at the size of some of these boulders in there. Those are people on boulders. This is a big site. There's one in Montana, there's one in Alberta, and a couple through some other states. I will be checking out the one in Alberta. And this Orion ball site by Medicine Hat. The Alberta Medicine Wheel astrological calendar is also close to the Medicine Hat Badlands runes. So next week or 2 weeks from now, I will be hopefully getting all 3 sites in one weekend. And how epic will that be? I believe what we're looking at right here is also CJDV, shout out brother Chris, New Zealand's Kiwi alien, good to see you, brother. And so this, I believe, is also a picture from one of the 3 sisters in Canmore, but just not of the right angles. There's the face again of one of the Montana megaliths. Writing on rock, Alberta. So here's one of the 3 sisters, and I see the forehead, brow, the eye sockets, the nose, and the mouth of like the Indian princess or queen on this one. But there's better angles. This is the site, the Medicine Hat Badland Guardians. I will be going to this next week. 2 tops, geoglyphs in Montana. This is also Orion, Alberta, Badlands, Riding Rock, Medicine Wheel, Montana Dolom. Look at the size of this dolom. And shout out to Julia and the amazing work that her and her husband Bill have done with bringing forth all of this over the last 11 years. Some more of what they're called the hoodoos or the fairy chimneys. Like I said, there's in all the Badlands, and that all of these Badlands are plasma catastrophe of some sort. More Montana Dolom, Megaliths, aerial view of one of the sites. Here's the 3 Sisters sites, Canada. Here it almost looks like one of those, like a phoenix or dragon or something coming out, but it's the amphitheater on the back side, actually. That's actually from the back side. That's what it is. It looks like the same as the Eagle Peak of the Montana ones. Amphitheater. That's what it looks like on the back side. I have to get the images that I'd seen before, but is on another hard drive when I looked into it a few years ago. It's an amphitheater on the back side. This is Okotoks Rock. I will be stopping by this, what is called a glacier erratic. This is what's known as glacial erratic. I don't know. Do you see faces on it? Do you think a glacier built that and dropped that? That answer in the live chat. So this is Kazakhstan, and then identical ones over. And look at this, the terraced hills and mountains here in Kazakhstan as well. Look at all the terraces all the way up the mountains. Look at this. This is Kazakhstan where the balls are, but look at the identical, right? Like, no matter where you go in the world, these same runes. So that's another geoglyph. I don't know how high up this image is. I guess it's from a plane or helicopter in Montana, recently exposed from a fire. This is Nawar, Egypt, another geoglyph face. The Mega-Siberian geopolymer polygonal megalithic, super megalithic walls in Siberia, the same as in Montana and Alberta. This is Montana again, Montana again, Montana again. Some sort of carving into it. Another dolmen in Montana, Giants Playground. All in Montana, the Giants Playground. This is all Montana's Giants Playground. World's most massive dolmens other than Siberia. This is Alberta, Writing on Rock. Okay, so yeah, this is another one of these geoglyph faces, the mass faces from above. This one's in Montana, and that there's the eye here, or the eye, the brow, the eye, the nose, the mouth, and that it's two rivers going through there, or canals possibly. The rhino that Julie says is made of all brick or block, mega block. One of the faces along the Missouri River, the swan. And this is Cypress Hills, Alberta, right next to that Saskatchewan mystery site, right close by. Both on Crow's Nest, I believe, or just off the Crow's Nest. Highway 3 are this site, which is the Cypress Hills. Another Montana megalithic dolmen. This is facing from the front side. So this is Canmore, Alberta, facing from on top of the Three Sisters. Here's part of the mine. This mine actually goes all the way quite far east. Oops, sorry about that. Pardon that. Behind this mountain and all the way into a lake and all the way to what's Dead Man's Flats known as. Good day. Good to see you, Void is Yin Yang, brother. For all those that don't know, Void is Yin Yang. Amazing alchemy, esoteric knowledge, teachings, and music and sound theory. Going to be coming on to do a couple different episodes with me in the future on the next Science of Sound, as well as Adept Alchemy 101 episodes that will be coming up. In between all of this, so this is some archaeology or government funded or academic funded archaeological dig site recently within the last decade at Cypress Hills there, where you just saw some of those megalithic blocks. This is more of the Montana megaliths. The Dragon's Lair. This I want to get the drone out, and hopefully they get some footage of these sites with the upcoming solstice with any luck. So yeah, once again, there's the Saskatchewan rocks. There we go. Oops, went over it. So here's the identical stones of within the Giza pyramid that was in the Montana megalith giant playground. This, I believe, is right by Cypress Hills. The Titan feet at Montana megaliths. More polygonal giant rocks and dolmens. Cypress Hill. I believe this is one of the Three Sisters in Canmore. Dolums. This is the full site of the Saskatchewan Mystery Rocks megalithic site. See, doesn't that look like it could be also be a geoglyph, a giant geoglyph, possibly? Very interesting. Need LiDAR. The Buddha at the Montana Megalith site. Just massive, massive monolithic stones. The duck, or the bird, sorry. There's the one of the medicine hat ones. Oh yeah, I can see that dragon head there. Look at that. Right, most of these carved, and like, look at that guy, definitely carved. This is also in Giant's Playground. Or is that a rock troll? Was that a biogeology? Like, you know, more research needs to be done. Like, this brings up serious questions when they keep appearing everywhere. And look at this eagle and carved into the, or built into the rock, like geopolymered in each. Yeah, there's the, okay, I see that same eagle there, another angle of it. Just massive. Oh, look at that. Like, okay, is that like a horse or a puma or something? Another face animal, like huge. Crazy. Some sort of petroglyph carved in. And yeah, another geoglyph face here, supposedly. Yeah, there you go. This is Writing Rock, Southern Alberta Badlands, so petroglyph site that's now been recognized. So this is also in Writing Rock. This right here is in that same Writing Rock provincial UNESCO recognized park now. And oh, there's so much epic stuff I have to come and show. This is also Writing Rock, the petroglyphs, the dolmen of North Athabasca, Alberta, I believe. Montana megalith, polygonal rocks. Once again, there's the medicine hat that I'm going to this upcoming week. This one I just love. I just love it. Best polygono geopolymer rock you can find in Montana. This also in Writing on Rock, Alberta. And what excites me is all these places I'm listing off here in Alberta and going into Montana. It's like they're all in a perfect alignment, as well as like 30 other epic sites that I know of that I want to see, that I'm going to explore, that are all in perfect line going down to the Montana site, so that potentially I can spend a month and go to all of these sites if I'm able to secure the funding properly and make this happen and verify and document all of these amazing different sites that seem to have several epochs of inhabitation. And right here's polygonal walls, megalithic walls in Russia. And Writing Rock, there's the stones in Alberta, this is Montana. Look at that, that's Montana right there. All right, so we have finished that full folder back and forth through now. And on that note, 2.5 hours in, I guess I'll take this to a 3-hour epicness, because it is...
You crazy mother... Yeah.
It's just Bernie! Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Right, it's just Weekend at Bernie's. So one more time, it's so this 11-minute video of Montana megaliths, it's just so epic. Why not play it again?
Come with me on this journey to explore these vast ancient remnants of previous epochs of
I am
worldwide
coming to
civilizations.
do this journey.
As we float
I
along the
actually
Missouri
am.
River, it feels as if we are traveling through an ancient art installation. There's always something new to be discovered around every bend of the river. As the gate opens, we can look upriver and view the Dragon Temple at the gates. I am Julie Barger, the discoverer of the Montana megaliths. We are here at the gates of the mountains on the Missouri River. The Montana megaliths flow down into the tributaries and to the Missouri River, whose water flows all the way into the Atlantic Ocean. I have discovered extremely ancient megalithic cities all around you. It has been verified by satellite deep geoscans that there are pyramids, dolmens, huge cyclopean walls. 85% of it is still under the earth, underground. What we find are the markers. And then satellite deep geoscans can go 3.7 miles underground, layer the images, tell us what the artifacts are made out of. Many of the structures that you'll be seeing in these series of videos have deep, deep chambers underneath. In taking the Gates of the Mountain boat tour over and over, we have discovered flash fossilized beings. There's dinosaurs, dragons, a Sumerian king, which you will see down the river. Sumer, king at the gates, is positioned on a central precipice, high in the center of a smooth wall that forms a parabolic resonant amphitheater. The Sumer king at the gates is very similar to the Assyrian ruler's woolly fresco in ancient Iraq. We have found several stone statues of Sumerian, Mesopotamian, and Assyrian images. Features of the Montana megaliths morph, then appear and disappear, depending on the time of day, the cloud cover, seasons of the year, and the angle from which it is viewed. So who were these ancient monument makers? It is clear to me that many of these extremely ancient sites are memorials, messages sent across the ages, rendered in the cosmic script of expressionless art. The meaning of the Montana megaliths will be debated for centuries to come. Experts tend to complicate matters. Therefore, over the last 11 years, I have been presenting photographs and commentary, revealing my first impressions. Then comes the correlations to similar features at other known sites in the ancient world. Andrew Barker stated, "Bingo, Montana megalith structures are incredible, vast, ancient, ever surprising, informative, and real." Now, we only have a fraction of the macro picture, but that is enough to understand the site's importance. The archaeologist will need many decades to formulate the micro picture. We must expect with the site of this scale that could last into the next century. Steep limestone walls on both sides of the Missouri River are covered with three-dimensional beings. There are many faces, some of which appear to be human. A human-type skull is suspended high up on a precipice enclosed in a rock dome. As we pass by, a sky window appears through which constellations show at various times of the year. The head of a rhino extends from the side wall of the Temple of Isis. Its circular eye is open, again forming a sky window through which star constellations align. The horn is composed of square and rectangular blocks. Mountain Man is a huge titan. An image of the left side of the male face appears in the left wide eye of the Mountain Man Titan. It appears that two white eyes are staring at you as you approach the Gates of the Mountains pictograph site. I have photographed several pictographs created by the more recent indigenous peoples that inhabited Montana, the majority of which were painted with ochre, which is a combination of red iron minerals, urine, animal fat, and plant extracts. Often the glazes were heated with a torch, much like placing raw clay ceramics in a kiln to set the glaze. Here at the Gates of the Mountains are profiles of ancient faces in the rock under the paint, indicating that the faces were here first. An ancient male face with a white overglazed features a feathered headdress, much like the traditional Native American eagle headdresses worn in ceremonies today. His left eye and eyelashes are visible. You can count his teeth. On the left side of his chin, there is a dark red animal with a human face caricature. The cross over his head may be an indication of the 4 directions marker.
See, I load it through YouTube instead of Facebook so I can copy and paste the link in the live chat and I get the ads. Should have watched it on Twitter again.
My favorite activity in grade school was finding the images that were hidden in pictures. Finding the 3-dimensional human, aquatic, avian, animal, serpentine, draconian hybrids in the Montana Megaliths is one of my favorite adult activities. There are a multitude of ancient beings in the rock cliffs. Pause the video and see how many you can find. It is great fun. We have played this game for years on Facebook. I find it highly compelling that since my website has been translated into over 72 languages, there are comments on my Facebook from many cultures. People from around the world identify the images on the rocks here in Montana that originated in their own culture. We are beginning the process of classifying the taxonomy of these ancient biological beings. Many of the images at the gates of the mountains are familiar to me, as they have the same features and characteristics that we have discovered in other complexes throughout the Montana megaliths. The field of astroarchaeology is growing exponentially. We are learning that ancient sites around the world align with star constellations and with the solar and lunar cycles. A large swan faces upriver toward the dragon temple at the gates. The star constellation of Cygnus is represented by the swan. There are several proof points for determining ancient intentional construction of cyclopean walls versus rock formations that naturally occur. A series of 90-degree angle cut and stacked square and rectangular blocks with vertical seams that line up is a major proof point that this formation was constructed. Long, straight horizontal seams is also an indication of possible intentional construction. Often these walls have smooth surfaces. The gates of the mountain is limestone, which deteriorates much quicker than granite. However, some of the walls are very smooth. Dragon Temple appears to be an extremely ancient, intentionally constructed temple, featuring the head of a dragon in the center. The serpentine body of the dragon flows down into the river. Formed into angular pillars that support rectangular blocks, the body of the dragon becomes a semicircular wall. There are several images of faces on the northwest upper row of blocks. On the side of Dragon Temple is a large cube formed from stacked square blocks. At the lower corner of the cube, an extremely large male figure sits on a throne facing downriver. This throne figure appears very similar to the colossi of Memnon at the Theban necropolis on the Upper Nile in Egypt. As viewed from Google Earth, the Dragon Temple at the gates appears to be a pyramid, which is similar to the Gunung Padang pyramid in Java, Indonesia. The architectural design of both temple pyramids features a similar square center, with terraced descending platforms. On one side there is a sharp decline, and on the opposite side there are extended descending layers. Eastward of the gates of the mountains, the horned dragon geosculpture is only visible from Google Earth. Threshold Complex, where there are several flash fossilized dragons, follows the outline of the horned dragon's jaw. Threshold Complex can be seen from the ground level. After several summers of frequently floating up and down this section of the Missouri River, my friend Robin offered a private boat ride. Here is Robin with family and friends at the Colton Campground at the base of the Temple of Isis. Another photo shows a view of us with the cliff walls that are across the river from the temple. The Temple of Isis was constructed in a classical design like several ancient temples with a rectangular base and a triangular roof line. The Temple of Isis in Egypt has a similar square base. The Temple of Concordia in Greece also has a rectangular shape with a triangular roof. On one side of the Temple of Isis, here at the gates of the mountains, there's a concave wall that reminds me of the spread wings of Isis, the Egyptian goddess. On the same level around the 90-degree corner on the northwest wall are square blocks on top of support pillars that are the cornerstones of the wall that faces the river. These stone
Yes, you
blocks are
did.
carved with
Actually,
ancient faces.
I can play that one.
Facing the river, the large head of the rhino is supported by a flat platform. There is a second terrace above, which is on the side of the triangular prism portion of the roof, which we will be exploring this next summer. There is so much more to come as we present videos of the Hi there, my name is Janet Blackigal. I'm from Mimiku Country. I'm up here with Julie Ryder, and today we discovered these, what do they call them? Petroglyphs? Yes. And there's a straight line going up and down, and then we're coming over and we see some more. But the interesting ones are the circle. You know, there's a circle here, a circle there, and then up here is some more lines, and then there's a marker there. It looks like there's like sun rays or something coming down, and it's really interesting. We're out just looking at megaliths, and we found the petroglyphs, and that's it.
I've spent
This one is Sam Esmanovich at the Dolmens with Julie. I'm not going to play all of it here as it's over a half hour, and I highly recommend everybody go over and subscribe to her site and watch it if you want to watch it. I believe there's actually 3 hours total of Sam Esmanovich and Julie exploring these sites. Quite epic stuff. And yes, so what I wanted to end the stream with now was a bit of pyramids. But why pyramids? Not just pyramids, the terraforming everywhere around the world. And that sites like this throughout Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, California, all of it, that these are all the exact same former civilizations that of epochs past that suffered catastrophic catastrophes of whether it was plasma, nuclear, oh dear, there we go. And the pyramids, that how advanced these different societies and builders were. This is in Peru. It spirals down to the underground water systems, and these water systems were built all the way from the mountains that had these crazy geopolymer macro terraformed sites and polygonal walls, just like we're now seeing on Montana and what I'm going to be exposing in Alberta. But it literally runs 1,000 kilometers from the mountains, where I'm going to show some more pictures momentarily of them in the Andes at the springs, the primary water sources at the top of the mountains where they're built in the cities, and then go down the terraced mountains and then go have these walking wells with the water buried all the way through the desert plains of Peru down to the coast. Ancient megalithic picture of a wall. The Bosnian pyramids before excavations here. So once again, this is Chichen Itza. I've actually been here I do hope to go back again someday, but the advanced engineering of how the dragon comes alive on the solstices, as well as the hummingbird clap of the sound, the Caesar wave that comes back of sound. So right here, this is what I'm talking about, the primary water. Look at this geopolymer, or what they claim chiseled, carved, but both this thousands of years old, still running, still serving pure water coming out from the hills and the mountains. But this is just one of thousands, tens of thousands. Saskatchewan. I'm totally saying that wrong, butchering it, but also I believe in Peru, maybe Bolivia, huge polygonal megalithic sites. We also have this in Indonesia, I believe. Chichen Itza again in Mexico that I've been at. Just absolute insane acoustic engineering. Like, you have to 3D map this, like acoustically map it on like AutoCAD, like on advanced software, and then testing, and then, you know, brick for brick, like plan it out. Like, we can only start beginning to make stuff this amazing now, you know, like we're ignorant to believe anything other than ridiculously super advanced ancient lost civilizations that these ruins are left by and remnants of. So here, whether this is somewhere in the Andes, leftover terraced mountains, and they're absolutely everywhere throughout Mexico, throughout Guatemala, Honduras, all the way down through Ecuador and Peru and Bolivia. This, I believe, somewhere in the US, maybe New Mexico, California, I'm not sure. Here we go. These are some Siberian mountain pyramids, also stepped pyramids. There's all sorts of images of them from different angles, different times of the year, and that there's whole sets of these throughout Siberia, just starting to be documented. Here we have the top. Why can I never for the life of me remember the names when I'm live? Like, anyways, in Peru, the famous mountain one that has terraces all the way down, and that all these underground, under pyramid rooms and buildings and staircases, these mountains as well recognized as pyramids, covered pyramids, just like this was covered when it was first found and then it was excavated. Oh, huge support. Thank you for second huge donation, John Sup. Absolutely appreciated, and it is all of your support and kindness that keeps this work coming and happening. Only Truth's doing good. Machu Picchu. Thank you, Frankie. New West Reset. Yes, that was Machu Picchu. I was showing that I can never remember the freaking name of. That it has terraces all the way down the mountain side of it. And then the opposing faced mountain peak, when turned 90 degrees, is another face of the Aztec or Mayan, I guess Mayan or Olmec face that built Machu Picchu. I do believe I have the pictures of that to show in this folder. It will come up here as reference, but here's another one of the mega pyramids of Mexico buried that they've shown that they're underground chambers of. These Guatemala, Honduras, all the pyramids that have been reclaimed by the jungles and only starting to be rediscovered. These lost mega cities throughout. Like, look at this. Like, it just, how can anyone believe primitive people built this stuff? These lost what happened, what catastrophes destroyed these civilizations. One moment, just taking a phone call from Jeremy Reese. Hello?
Another what looks like nub, but there is clear as day another wall just as defined as the main sage wall right here. All right, guys, we just got to the back of the trail here, and we made it here to the sage wall. And I just walked up here, so I've been here less than a minute, like 30 seconds, and I'm staring at this thing, and my initial impression is, I mean, come on, that's not nature. I mean, look, guys, look at this thing. If you can see the straightness of it, I'm blown away. This is exactly what I was hoping to find when I came out here. It's a massive wall. I mean, I can't, there isn't anything about this that screams out nature did this to me. If this was man-made, if this wall and the other side over there, perhaps that side used to be stacked up better, and there was some kind of channel here.
Look how this stone, it's obviously broken now and started to slide, but before it broke, you move it back, it's exactly in line with the rest of the wall.
You're right. And I have a feeling these in the center here were boulders that fell from here. Like, look where I'm standing.
It definitely, yeah. I mean, they could have definitely been that.
Have you noticed how every point where there's a break in the wall is it's a V angle?
Yeah.
See, if this is not the same stone, then it was fitted and slid in there.
It does look like the same
Look how
stone.
big.
You can see like this sort of granite patterning right here and here. And
Yeah.
same you see over here. But why is it so much crustier right here than it is right there?
So at several points up and down the wall, there are these breaks, right? And they're about the same exact height from the top rock to where it ends midway here. And each point, and it's kind of these V shapes. And we'll walk you down here to the next point right here. It's another little break. So our working theory right now, and this is us being out here for like 30 minutes maybe, is we're seeing a lot of the similar stuff right across here. So you've got the wall here and then here, and we're kind of in this little channel. This perhaps might have used to have been.
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there as we are reaching the 3-hour mark. It claims there's only 39 people right now watching, which I don't know how, because I thought that was some epic disclosure of what seems to be undeniable evidence of lost civilizations. Ending the poll on the BurnEye, 100% people said that it is not natural, and oh, thank you so much. One more super chat was that again by John, if so too kind. And thank you all for the donations. It is appreciated, and how we keep this funding going. So yeah, 40 people watching, despite I think the numbers have to be higher. It was Jeremy Reese just called me, and the disclosure going on with the new UFO disclosure, and that apparently GoofOn is live right now and has 6,000 people watching somehow. So on GoofOn, it's like, what? I don't understand. So he's hopefully Jeremy's gonna get on that, or we're gonna do a live together or something like that. Something seems to have happened where he's been forced to take a step back, but hopefully we can get him on live so he can talk about it a bit at this pivotal time of disclosure happening, and that there's UFOs out there. Do they have to do with these pyramids that are everywhere? Because they're everywhere. This is in China. This is in Siberia. This is in Indonesia. Pyramids of China, like they're everywhere. This is Machu Picchu. It's terraced all the way down, or is it one giant step pyramid? It's probably both. They're everywhere. And yeah, so I'm ended at 3 hours here. Thank you all for watching. This is supposedly Antarctica. You know, what is going on in the world? They lie to us. It's advanced. There's pyramids everywhere. Something going on. Oh yeah, and in the poll here, 86% saying no, it is not natural. 14% on Crypto Alchemist saying that yes, it is natural. And on that note, thank you everybody for watching, for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one, and hopefully be doing a live with Mr. Reese right away, and gonna check out GoofOn and the rest of it, and hope everybody watched APAC yesterday, and the next one coming up soon.
You crazy mother. Yeah.
It's just burning!
Hey, Bernie, just like last week, huh?
Weekend at Bernie's.
Smooth.